to this computer. All right, guys, we're live. And oh, hi, Rebecca.
Hey,
Rebecca. Wow, bringing the
absolutely
dynamic lighting.
perfect timing.
We're just getting started. Okay, here we go. So we were at line 10. And how far did we get with the hieratic the last time?
We got up to, we were just about to look at 3 months. So at the end of the line after aha.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
After M aha, and then there's a little ray glyph. And then the plural strokes of N, that's where we're picking up the N Ebdu. And Hemdu Ebdu.
Around here, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So basically, whoever comes up first is not going to get the crown. Oops, I hear quite a bit of noise. I hope it isn't me. Aha. So aha, I think the first thing here was the ein is actually ligature or a ligature, but it's like a combo glyph kind of thing. I don't think we had that yet in this text. I think that we marked upon that already last time. Yeah, W abbreviated as it so often is. The ray, he uses the ligature here, or not ligature, the simplified form, I should say, as opposed to stroke, stroke, dot. What else? Big determinative stroke, number 3. Months, basically. Did we miss a T? No, that's part of the...
That's part of the star.
That's not part of the star. Or not really the star, but the thing on top, right? The half moon or whatever that is.
The half moon, but the little dot under it, I think, is part of the star because it has to have 5 strokes around it. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought that was the. Let's zoom in. I thought the star was. Let's look. Was. Let me see drawing. I thought it was this basically. Ha. Of course, I had to do it the Chinese way. dot. Naturally. But yeah, whatever. So this one here, I thought these two belong together. Let's take a look. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
It's N11 is the arc.
Okay, N11?
Yeah.
Then let's go to... Which one do we want to use today? Acupower? Might as well. Acupower. N11. There it is. Ah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It has a little something there. Oh, you know what that could be? That could be the bottom part. You know how
the bottom line.
Yeah. We had the same thing with the ages ago when we were talking about that glyph, where we thought they were just abbreviated like this, and instead they do something really complicated, which is like essentially, oopsie. For some reason, this doesn't want to let go. They really do something like this for whatever reason. I forgot how it really came out. But yeah, I'm thinking something similar. Instead of just abbreviating it like that, like you said, it's the bottom line. Okay, that's cool. Learn something new. Back to the text. So that's our abet here, or a bote, or whatever the plural is. And 3 of those, so 3 months. 3 months of days, we discussed that. So want to be specific here, not months of anything else. Oh, sorry, here come the days. This is still part of the word for months, I guess. And Heru, okay. And Heru, nothing major to be said here, I think.
Yeah, the plural strokes on that one's a little more clear than they are on how.
You mean these here, huh?
Yeah, like the previous one, it's just like up, down. It's like down, up, down.
Where are the previous ones? I skipped over that. You're right. Let's go back real quick. Sun disk, determinative stroke.
But this one, it's supposed to be 3 strokes.
Stroke, right? Huh.
So you just have to kind of know, I think.
What else should it be? But you're right, this is weird. He normally doesn't do that. Normally when he writes plural strokes, it's always like, oops.
I mean, he can be quite scribbly with it, but
Yeah,
that one's particularly unclear.
this one's particularly squiggly. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's just accept it. This is more what he normally does, to your point.
Yeah.
And then where do I still have clean space? Negation N, just looking a whole lot as if it were, well, never mind. What's behind that is basically like a little stroke like this for the top part, and then the arms just like that, right? EU2 abbreviated. Again, we've seen that 1,000 times. Let's keep going. And so what should not be happening should not be given the office. And you can see very well how the D is written here. I like that. That's the clearest we have so far.
Nice D.
Like the arm glyph and then a vertical stroke. And for some reason, you don't ligature that. I wonder if this comes first. This first, then this, and then continue with the T? Maybe. Enough, or naf actually in Coptic, highly abbreviated. Ta, that new kingdom abbreviation of basically a big T and then like a little aleph that becomes like a Z basically. Ya ut, the WT also ligature together. Could be clearer, but why? Everybody knows what it is anyways. Use your
Especially
energy.
with that determinative.
Exactly. Save your energy for the determinative. Somebody was remarking that on Discord the other day, why the Horus I was not abbreviated at all in hieratic, and I'm thinking it's not so much about abbreviation. Like if they can flaunt a character, they just do it. But all the everyday stuff, yeah, you're going to ligature that and write that in an abbreviated form. But when you have like a wing or something like this, or a cobra, I mean, then they go all out. And I think it's the case.
What if it's religious too? That seems like the things that are religious emblems get more attention sometimes.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right. Like all the god, like the Seth or Sutech.
Yeah, the Seth, the Horus bird, the
Good point.
the
Could
eyes,
be.
the wings. I mean, that's a men symbol standard, isn't it?
Good point. Wasn't thinking of that. You're right. That could be it. Or it could be part of it at least. And then you get things like here, the book roll and the plural strokes and hey. I mean, why give that any attention? Okay. Okie doke. Well, I think that brings us to the end of where we were the last time. So I think we have a new sentence for whoever wants it. And you probably want me to zoom out, and I will eventually figure out how to do this. There you go. All right. Big enough?
Yeah, I think so. So right here.
Yeah. So let's start at when in.
You can go here. So when in sen herpu impasa.
Well, that's interesting. You're right.
Pasa two.
Right.
Pasa two. Okay. So then they, okay, this is repeating the thing from before. So then sen, they, herpu, they submerged in the as the two sons, like
It's the two men, literally, right? Or the two people. I guess it's
oh,
supposed
so
to
it's
mean,
just man. Okay.
but that is really interesting because
That's a
Yeah, it's a
is it
really
saying
weird
that
way
they-
to say that.
Is it saying they went in human form and they're going to turn into hippopotami later? Like, because that's the challenge, right? Is they're going
Oh.
to turn into hippos and go into the delta.
Mhm.
And so maybe it's saying that they went in human form.
Mm.
But I don't know. But yeah, it says they go in as two men.
I wonder now if that's a fixed expression. Um, it did trip me up too, because first you would think, I mean, they're two gods, they're not two men. So that's kind of weird. And like you said, Seth just proposed we should turn ourselves into two hippos and submerge and see who can stay longer underwater. So that makes even less sense. So now I'm wondering if that's just more like a, you know, like futari, like basically two people, like a standard way how to say both.
They went in together or something. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Mm.
Because there's also the M there. Herpu can be to submerge somebody, but here it seems to be reflexive.
Like it feels like they've submerged themselves.
Right.
Mhm.
And there's no U or anything. You would like expect if it were submerge yourself, there would be like a W and plural strokes or something, but that's not the case. It's just herpu. I mean, I'm assuming this is just some phonetic thing. It doesn't mean anything. If that assumption is correct, then there's no direct object. Lady Egyptian doesn't have a direct object marker yet, like Coptic. So it's not like this is to mark the accusative or something. At least I don't think so. So is that a set expression? En passant? Well, we could check, right?
We could search for it
How would we do this?
on Ramses. Yeah.
Let's start with Ramses. The only problem with Ramses is the corpus is kind of limited. And you can't do sequence searches either.
En passant. Oh, that's right. You can't search for multiple words.
You can't.
Oh, that's terrible. That would be so useful.
It would be so
Yeah.
useful to have.
It's a
right?
real thing that's missing.
Mm.
So that
They
doesn't
published
work.
the works. We can just search for saw and see if you can find one. But yeah, maybe TLA is better.
Oh, that's true, because
It's
sa
not that common a word,
sorry, that's
especially if they've got a lemma for just the man version.
how do you spell that?
S Aleph.
Is it S Aleph?
That just brings you to sun. I would have
Good try.
tried Z, but you did that and it didn't.
Yeah, I don't think Ramses distinguishes Z. No, Zap.
I'm trying everything that somebody could have thought of.
Hmm.
Can you search for fil or something like sun in French?
But wait,
You can search for translation, right?
For
So fi,
this is-
FIL,
Well, you would look for Om. Yeah.
or Om. Yeah,
look for,
sorry. I keep
Yeah.
thinking it's sun.
Here it is. Just S.
Oh, it's just S. Okay.
Okay.
it's just S. So
In S.
oh, there are a lot of them, obviously. Here we is that ours? No, this is not ours. Yay.
Wow.
That and pass too. There you go.
Amongst the two of us.
Choosing among the two, from the two men. That's a very different sense.
Wait,
I
but
think.
how did they translate that? Nous partageons les choses qui s'y trouvent entre nous deux. That can be found amongst, or that are amongst the two of us. Okay. Let's see if there's more. Okay, no. This way we would have to. This is from the ghost story, Ralph, that you had the other day.
Ah, yeah, right. Good point.
I don't remember that passage. Let's see if we find something that's. And the three people.
Oh, here we go.
With one voice, M. Pasan Shomt, or however you want to pronounce that. Cool. So that seems to be a way how to make numbers like Hitori, Futari, whatever the third one is, I forgot. Here's another one.
5 of them.
Trust songs.
Oh, also in Kunsum Hub.
Yeah, but no, this is different. This is just a normal counter. No M in front and no article. So I think that's a different story. But I'm sort of convinced now that it's probably just a set expression. Don't pay it too much heed.
It just means they both went in.
Yeah. Just the two.
They went in together as a group.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly. I think that's what it means. They went in as a group. Cool.
Notice how many of these are followed by a number. The majority of them are followed by a number. Like this is clearly a way of saying how many people.
I think what's going on. So in Coptic, Sa is still around, but only in like fixed expression. Like for example, a man of copper is like a coppersmith, a Sa Shomd or something. And you can also have it like as an evildoer and as a like whatever the opposite is, like a man of good, so to say. You can build those with Sa, but everything else is with Ome. And what I suspect is maybe that's already going on here. That's Remage for the general, if you want to say like this man came to my house or something, there's a counter word. Oh, here's one from Horus and Seth that we missed earlier on. Gerben tuturech ujau empa se or sa snow. It's impossible to judge between the two of them, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's almost becoming like a counter word. You're right, Aaron. It is remarkable that there's always a number coming after. Huh. Okay. Paper in the making. Measure words in late Egyptian. Where were we? So the two of them. What have we decided? That so then the two of them.
Then the two of them submerged as a pair, or yeah, the two of them submerged themselves, I guess you'd have to say in English.
I think so. Makes sense.
And then Aha and Iset, Hasim Remu,
Yes.
Erjed Hetbu, Set Hair, Pi Sherry.
Right.
Okay, so what are the verbs here? Okay, so then Isis, so Aha and Iset, then Isis, Hasem, she sat down to, oh, is this the weep word?
It is. It's the remake. Right.
So she sat down and cried. She's worried about her son. Erjed, and she said,
you know this word.
Do I know this word?
You know this word.
Your faith is astounding. I mean, the determinative is a fighting head and a knife. So
yeah, that does a lot of the heavy lifting.
So Seth is going to kill Horus, is what she's saying.
It's the good old Coptic votive to kill somebody or slay, if you want to use Bible English. Yep, and
she's going to, so Seth is going to slay, or she said Seth. Would this be future then? He will slay?
Yeah, I think so. Any idea what that is grammatically?
Nope.
I mean, so here's the verb, and it's followed by the
verb followed by a nominal direct object or nominal subject.
So it's some kind of Sejm F, and we have only two in late Egyptian.
Okay. You should just say which one they are. I don't know.
Okay, no worries. Unless somebody else wants to jump in.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Perspective is one option. So whenever you see a Sejm F, it can only be one of two things. It's either perspective, or it could be a past tense. Past tense doesn't make sense, so
so it's a perspective, which is it's a perspective the same as the subjunctive. So she's worried about the eventuality that Seth may kill Horus, my child.
Correct. But you could just take it as a future, like he will kill or he may kill. I mean, it's sort of
he's going to kill. Right? Maybe would be colloquial English.
Correct.
She sits down. She weeps because Horus or Seth is going to kill Horus, my child.
And the erjet, like you had it initially, it's introducing direct speech. So it's like a colon here. Seth is going to kill Horus, my child. That's right.
My child.
Perfect. Should we look at the hieratic before we move on?
Yep. Let's do that.
Clear annotations. And move over to the left. Up. We were here, right? Wenin.
Yeah. The sen is included, which is new.
Mm.
Maybe not unusual, but new. I guess normally there's a nominal subject for the winning.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a pronominal one, so it stays in the red, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what it's a
I see what
name.
you're
They
saying.
always do it. She always does it in the black.
Right. Good point. I'm not sure how they decided when they do what, honestly. Like, where do you end the red part? Here they include the set in the aha
Yep.
part.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it has
And
something to go ahead.
And the winning S earlier in the same line. So
Right.
pronouns are getting it consistently on this page, I think.
Keep an eye out for it. I wonder sometimes these things, like in Coptic, you have this strong expiratory accent where you can tell from the pre-pronominal and pre-nominal forms, or whatever you want to call it, that that the main stress is really on the noun or on whatever comes at the end. And so I'm wondering if it has something to do with that you like highlight the whole stress unit, possibly. Possibly.
Or the whole thing feels like a word.
Exactly, like where they wouldn't put a blank space in between, basically, because the whole thing is just like a word. Like, exactly. Cherepu, not much to say here. Empa sa, or sa in Coptic. The number 2 is kind of bound together as if it was one sign.
Yeah, squeezed in.
That's right. AHN. The set of ISIS is, the way it always is, stroke, stroke, stroke. Tea and an egg. That sounds like breakfast. Bird on a stick. Chemse. Sorry. Hey, it's healthy. No count.
That's funny.
Rime, to weep, gets a double R. Just like fish does sometimes.
Yeah, that was weird.
And also prepositions sometimes get that. It's just a thing. Why? I'm not sure. Like, for example, in eroten, the plural of the preposition plus, plural 10, right? To you. That sort of makes sense to me because it even has like an initial vowel in Coptic, eroten. So you would think, oh, maybe that's what it is. But rime doesn't. So why double R? I have no idea.
Could it be something like it was like if R, the hieroglyph, is turning into just like it is in Coptic sometimes, maybe they're distinguishing whether you pronounce the R or not.
Could be. It could be.
So maybe it's eremu. It's like if there's an initial vowel or something, it's showing no really you do the R.
I think it could be that, just like they write TW when they want to say the T is really pronounced. And then they also do a double N for the first plural. Actually, we just had that line higher, where it's like N, and then W, plural strokes. So something's going on there where they're trying to make it clear this is really an R. Okay. Erjet, Hered, no, not Hered.
Kind of lazy.
Hedeb.
Hedeb, but
Hedeb.
Yeah.
Hedeb with a long curved knife, almost like a scimitar. Sutech, bird on a stick.
Horus has a long baseline there.
It does. It does. Pa, E, and then like a B1 woman at the end. A1 man plus stroke. Sheri U or Sheri, beautiful child glyph at the end. And it's a divine
because it's Horus, I guess.
Indeed, indeed. Very well done. Okay, next one.
Wenin es in wa haput nut. Then she brought a ball of string, a ball of yarn string.
And that's a really interesting question. What is chaput? Because Ramses does indeed translate as a ball of string. But the word exists in Coptic. It's still around as, hang on, what tip? Oops, Hopet? Hopet. Well, that's great.
With an omega, maybe?
Say again?
Does it have an omega?
I don't think so. Kaput.
Ah, there you go.
There we go. I have my vowel in the wrong place.
Oh, like a measuring
It's a measurement, yeah. Like
thing.
basically like this, a fathom, six feet.
Oh, huh.
So that's the other way how you,
Interesting.
it could be a measurement. So she basically bought 2 meters of string.
I looked it up in Lesko, but now I can't remember whether he had that as an option.
Okay, let's have a look what he has.
Let's see.
I just learned this is an attribute of Seshat.
The
She's sometimes depicted with a surveyor cord,
oh, look at that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
not a rope with regular knots in it.
That is interesting.
Oh, oops.
P comes before N, right?
Mm-hmm. Carpet. And it's spelled here as if it was a foreign word because you spell poo, T, it's like, it's group writing basically.
Hmm.
God, I hate scrolling through Lesko.
It does have a,
It takes forever.
right. Do you use
All
the
of yarn, see Jansen.
do you use the index on the left, Aaron?
I do, but it's because it's on my iPad. It takes such a
Oh.
long time for it to, every time I scroll, the whole thing goes blank and reloads itself. And
Thanks. Gotcha.
yeah, I do. I use the.
I'm just asking because it took me forever to find that there was one. It's like
Yeah.
in the beginning I didn't know. Let me see if I'm.
So it seems particularly uncertain because he actually gives citations for the different meanings.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me
Yeah.
try to bring it on the screen.
But a ball of yarn, a mass of yarn, or a measure. So you're both right.
That's interesting. I mean,
I mean, in this case, she's not using it to measure.
no, she hasn't.
She's just using it to make a rope.
Right. And you know what? Ali found a really good way around it. He just translated it with an armful of whatever newt is.
An armful of
That's the
newt.
string. I think
Yeah.
that's the actual.
So he says an armful of string, which basically could be anything, right? So maybe that's a good one. Okay.
Do we know that newt is string because of the determinative and probably nothing else? Or does that one survive too?
Lesko just has ball or mass of yarn. Oh, he does have a measure, yeah.
Interesting. Let's see what newt. I thought newt had a stations in TLA. Let me see. It does not survive into Coptic, to my knowledge. Unfortunately, newt. With it. Newt. Not this newt. Not this newt either. Here. 24 sentences. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yarn, thread, cord.
If it shows up in weaving, that would.
Shows up in what? I'm sorry.
If it shows up in weaving descriptions, that would be a fair
That
number
would
of
be
two
indication, right?
manifestations.
Hmm. Okay, TLA is taking its sweet time.
But they're working on speeding up the stage.
Mm.
Okay.
Altisweich. Abusir. So it's an old word.
The thing about, oh, look at that.
That's ours, isn't it?
That's our text star.
Yeah.
I was thinking like another, that would have been. I mean, here it's together with other stuff like cloth of best quality, linen cloth, some more cloth of best quality. And then there's our new yarn here.
Right. And it's in Faulkner as well. Yarn for weaving, cord in the Westcar Papyrus.
Here we go. Here's a weaving example, I guess. Let him weave the yarn. I guess then Sechet is weave. Doesn't that come up in a moment? Sechet.
They used the word, let's say, then she, no, they just said, Hieratic, she made a rope.
She made a rope. Okay, all right. Let's accept that as yarn. So she brought an armful of yarn, or if you prefer, what do we call it?
A ball.
A ball of yarn.
That's a very modern way of thinking about string and yarn in a ball. I mean,
I just
we don't
see
know
very,
that that's what they did.
Right. I see a very entertained cat when I imagine a ball of yarn.
It should be an easy question to answer because like there are lots of depictions of weaving. So how did they store string when they didn't already have it strung on the loom? There might be a picture of a ball or a spool or something.
Good point. You're right. We could go there, but I'm thinking maybe let's go on.
Yeah. Aha and set Hieratic wa Macau Uset in wa Deben Hemet or Hemti.
I think it's Remeti.
Hemeti. You said Wajahu F M how and stop there and translate. Then she made a rope and she brought a I think this is a deben of copper.
Yeah,
that's right.
And she tied it. Oh no, she cast it.
Right. I think it's like
melted it. Yeah. And
she right, with
melted,
the fire determinative, right?
Yeah. And she melted it into a weapon of Pamu of the water.
Right. And
she keeps going. Should I let someone else take over? Or
no, you can. Just go ahead.
Okay. You said Ches NF Pamaka. And she this is tied, and she tied it to the rope. You said who to F Pamu, and she, I think in this case threw. I think sometimes it's hit.
Correct.
But I think here threw makes more sense. And she threw it in the water.
That's right. Perfect.
Yeah, okay. Threw it towards into, I guess.
Yeah. Towards the water, into the water, I guess.
So basically she's taken copper, tied a rope to it, made a harpoon, melted it down, made some sort of harpoon.
Right. I mean, it's kind of unspecific what exactly, some kind of weapon, but you think
a weapon of the water.
Yeah, whatever that is, water weapon.
Which
you would think that would have a specific name, though.
You think?
I'm surprised that they don't have a word for that.
Good question. Do they?
Search the TLA for harpoon.
That's what I was thinking. And luckily it's the same in German, so that helps. Oh, look at that. Da.
well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. They have a hieroglyph for a harpoon.
Oh, yeah.
But
there you go. Oh my God. Is literally staring us in the face. It was even in this sentence.
Right. But this word does not show up. Note that they have one of Horus, the Jibba, apparently. I had no idea. It occurs in one sentence, so I guess I haven't read that sentence yet. Who knows? Oh my God, that's one of those weird things. One of those weird incantations. The Lord of the Cord of the 30 or the 30 Spears is the excellent he-goat. Fantastic. With a flaming harpoon. This kind of stuff is tripping.
Jebba might just be spear.
It may be, right? I mean, one thing I was thinking about is, anybody know how much a David is in the New Kingdom?
It's a lot. Is it like a? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
It's around a kilogram, I think.
Alan, I think in his chapter on numbers, I think there's a weights and measures thing.
I thought it was way less, actually. I thought it was only 90 grams.
Oh,
3 Troy
that makes more sense for a spear point.
Yeah, no, if it's just the spear point, oops, David, no, in Spanish, Egyptian.
You were
Google.
correct. And
You don't know me at all.
91 grams.
Because you're right, it was heavier in the Middle Kingdom, I think, and then in the let's see what it says here. New
But not a
Kingdom,
lot heavier. It's,
91
it
grams.
depends on whether it's gold or silver and whether you're comparing the monetary value or the actual weight. But
Right. So yeah, 100 grams basically, if you want to be metric. I mean 90. So yeah, enough for a spearhead, like you said, I guess. Okay, good enough. Anything else that's interesting here grammatically? So she made, this is just a basic first present. She made a rope. Then what you call it, the historical narrative past tense, which again is just like it looks like a I can't think of the word now. Circumstantial. It looks like a circumstantial, but it's just basically tying the next line to whatever was said before. And she, or as she was bringing 1 deben of copper, and she was melting, or as she was melting it into a spear.
weapon of the water.
A weapon of the
Into a
water.
weapon of the water.
Indeed. And she was what did we have? She was tying it.
She tied it, yeah.
She was tying it to the rope, I guess, tying it to the rope, and she was throwing it into the water. I mean, it's just a long sequence of circumstantial statements which make the narrative past.
Yeah.
I think to call out maybe for anybody in the video watching it, I mean, tuf, so that is that new object pronoun, which comes from the infinitive ending T plus the F, and to make sure that you actually pronounce the T, there's a W after it. Okay, so far so good.
So, I mean, grammatically, it's not complicated, but I think it's interesting that this is such a long sequence. Like we've talked about the different aspects of the god's powers. Like Isis can turn into a bird at any point, and in fact does so in the story, but she needs the ferryman to get her across to the liminal island where they're having the debate. And like, she can't just like pull a spear out of her back pocket. She has to get a rope and get some copper and melt it down.
She had to get the string and then make the rope. She couldn't just go get rope. I mean, wow, every detail. She couldn't just get a harpoon. She had to get the copper, melt it, and wow.
Yeah, like it's interesting how much effort.
Girlie's a Walmart.
I was thinking the same though when I was reading the passage, the exact same thing. Like, they're awfully specific, right? It doesn't go like,
oh, Rebecca, good point. It spins out the narrative time. Yeah,
yeah, it's
this isn't a short story, damn it.
It also makes it more. It makes it more tangible. It makes it more real in a way. If you say she just went boom and poof, there was a harpoon or something.
It's building tension, because what's she going to do?
Right.
What's she going to do with it? How's it going to end?
Oh, what's she making? Oh, she's making a rope. But what's she going to do with the rope? Oh, she got some copper. What's she going to do with the copper? Oh,
Exactly.
What's she going to do with the harpoon? Oh, she tried to do a rope. Now what's she going to do? There's even more. This sentence isn't even finished.
You're right. It's definitely trying to keep the kids interested or something. We're almost at the end of the line. Do you just want to take the last part as well?
Yeah, sure. Where are we?
So
Erpa mu. I did that. Okay, so erta set harpu iru her hanas suteh. So threw it into the water in the place, submerge. So in the place where Horus and Seth submerged, threw it into the water in the place Horus and Seth had submerged.
So this is a Middle Kingdom thing, like a Middle Egyptian thing, where we've got a relative clause without a neti.
No, it's the beauty of having a relative. I mean, not like an uncle, but more like
It's the actual relative form.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of the E era. Okay.
That's right. That's a relative. So just like a participle, but with somebody else being the subject. So no, great.
So she
great
threw
point.
it into the place.
The place of the throwing made by Horus and Seth. It's like a rather convoluted way to make a relative sentence. Could you have done it another way? I think once we get to relative sentences in Hebrew, that should be fun, because they depend on, like, is it a specific one, a determined one, an indeterminate one, present tense, past tense, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So there's this whole matrix, which relative construction you pick when. That's as much as I know.
Okay.
I see something in the chat. Parataxis spins out the narrative. False naivete, parataxis. That's a great comment. You're right, Rebecca. That makes perfect sense, actually. Awesome. Do we want to do the hieratic for these?
Yes.
Okie doke. Before we get too far. So Acha and Set, Iret.
No, even farther back, the when in S.
Oh, I'm sorry. So when in S, Ine, Wa, Wa'a. I don't know where you start this one. The Ha, is it the little one here and then you go down? That would be kind of organic. So Ha, Pu, Ti. Then the string is interesting. That's how you do it. Tick, tick, tick. So not.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I
Because
think we've seen that one before. But...
It's hard to do loops with the kind of implement that we're using. So you have to break it down. Then plural strokes, we talked about those. The new.
Another new bot. So that long horizontal stroke stands in for the adds in the other spellings.
Or the what are the other spellings?
Like when we looked at Let's Go, it was spelled with the adds, like the setet
Was.
hieroglyph.
That's interesting. That would make more sense here, because otherwise, the other thing I've seen is they put it sometimes to indicate that the T is pronounced. So it becomes like a 2, but I don't think that's the case here. We don't really know because there's no Coptic successor, right? So you're saying it's, oh, that adds. But that adds comes at the beginning always.
Yeah, like the adds clearly means new, is pronounced new, but
Right. I would think it's the, oh, could it be that string thing? The string glyph at the end?
it's actually the thing they use to wind their strings on.
What, the ads?
Yeah, I'm joking.
Careful, there's going to be a student paper on that soon. It was on YouTube, must be real.
This will be under crafts and professions, probably.
We are struggling to improve the performance of this page, really struggling.
So Ellen does say the adds is spelled, is a phonogram new. So it's just double new.
Oh, here we go. It's under there.
It could be under the new, yeah, you're right.
You can put it under the new, which fits better, right?
Yeah, it does.
Still, I mean, it could be. It could be.
Okay, and the adds has to be on a block of wood to be set up, according to Alan. Those are different hieroglyphics.
Right. Those are different. I really don't know. Here it has a
An
here it
adds.
has a cross. Go figure.
That could just be for the string.
It could be. Here it actually has the other one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I mean, if we can get confused, why can't they?
I mean, one thing about the TLA is it's a lot of different authors submitting their transcriptions, and I think there's a lot of just, I think of these two things as the same, so it doesn't matter which one I put.
Oh, you're right. It could be not real. Good point.
It's not necessarily making the same distinctions Alan does.
True. Good point. Everything we see is filtered, unless, of course, you do what we do and look at the original. I'll leave it at that. It's something they felt they needed to abbreviate here. It's not the string. I was wrong about that because the string's right here. So whatever that is. Aha and said, nothing new here. Ire, wa'a, the harpoon is really flat in this case. I think they start here and then do something like this.
So is the transcription correct there with like, normally the Z1 is really big. And here we sort of stuck it under the harpoon because what else is that little dot there?
It could be a T.
But it could be a T. But I think the thing is the next noun.
That's
feminine?
It's not. I don't think so.
Well, and it's exactly the same in the next wa before the Devon of copper.
True.
I think we see it like this a lot.
Yeah.
I
think
think
like we always transcribe it that way. I just,
Mhm.
I don't know, I was getting worried.
Yeah, I think it's harmless. I think it's real. It's just a stroke. But you're right. Most of the time, he puts a stroke on a separate line. Maybe because it would look awkward if you had nothing else here. I don't know. Interesting though. And then the MMA is that weird abbreviation that we talked about before. I think it's the third time we see it now. That's
very hard to see.
Oops. Freeform, please. This weird M that then can be followed by other things, like for example by an R, or in this case by an Aleph. An Ein, I'm sorry, an Ein. The way it always is. Yeah.
Ooh, and then the string is very consistent in this line.
Yes. U, big W, as said, in wa again. Are
we missing something?
That's not a Devon, is it? What on earth? I mean, the rest from here onwards fits. Then I guess this fits.
That's the Devon, or the copper. Yeah.
That's the copper, but that's what the copper looks like. Wow.
Yeah.
This is all surprising.
This is all surprising. This is like,
and I don't think we've ever seen any of these before.
I think we need to look up the Devon.
I think we
I do
need
too.
I agree. This is.
We have had Devon before because Seth has his hammer of
Oh, that's right.
4,000 Devon weight. Who else is
When
going to
was
pick it
that?
up?
Right. Very true.
This is Thor's hammer.
See if I can hunt down what page that was on. Can look at it.
Tsukuba Möller. Hieratische Paläographie, right? Yeah. Here we go. And there is no Devon.
F46.
What category again?
F46, I think.
S?
For the full
Like in Sam?
F, as in Frank.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't Devon then. It was Nemset. It was my scepter of 4,500 Nemset. Whatever weight.
So here is our Devon, it seems. It's listed under cop for. Oh, are those the same?
Yes. Well, according to Alan, they're the same hieroglyph, same Gardner number.
Oh,
And it's not folded cloth, it's a line of intestine.
What?
That's what he says.
Okay.
It's interesting. I never realized that. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
always
look
thought
at
it was cloth.
Yeah,
but-
me too. Huh.
So this is the Middle Kingdom variants. Here are the New Kingdom variants, right? Middle is always middle section. And looks like they indeed look like they really look more like this than what we would recognize as the hieroglyphic Theban.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think maybe it's this version, ligatured with an N.
I think that's what it is. Let's take a look at it again.
Like that.
Ba, 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 ba. Where are you? Here.
No. That doesn't help
There's
at all.
no, you're right. There is an N underneath. That's what it is.
There is an
Well,
N.
and then ligatured over into the stone
The
determinative.
stone is also a joke. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
none of it looks like what what
Supposed to
it is. I
You
mean,
have to know that's just Deban, I
there's
think.
just no way.
I mean, okay, in their defense, if you're a scribe, you're probably, since that's like the main precious
You
metal.
write Deban 100 times a day. Yeah.
They write
Mhm.
Devon 100 times a day and all sorts of accounting things and whatnot. So, I mean, you think that if you work in a travel agency, persons is abbreviated PAX. Well, yeah. What can I say?
Wow. I mean, if you gave me 100 years, I wouldn't figure out what that said.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is kind of weird. And also the copper isn't helping.
No.
Know what the copper glyph is? I do not. I know it's bombed, but
Oh,
I mean, but
Mm.
I don't think it shows up.
And is it Nancy 34?
Thank you, sir. Let's see how that goes.
Wait, what?
What?
What? Yeah, actually. Sure, it's that one?
Hmm.
This looks different. Oh no, this looks the same. You're right. Wait.
That's not it. No, it's the,
That's a different
like-
ingot.
That's
So
a
there's a
different
bunch of variants.
yeah.
Sometimes it's shaped like a
Oh.
chisel. Sometimes it's shaped like an ingot.
Oh, here we go.
There's the one.
That's the one we wanted. You're right. Oh, look at that.
Huh,
It really looks
okay.
like some kind of brother glyph. I mean, sort of, right? Like a sin.
Yeah.
Wow, that must be.
Sure, why not?
But this is really old. I mean, already in the Middle Kingdom, just this.
Hmm.
Again, I would assume it's an accounting thing, but it's not intuitive at all. It doesn't look anything like the shape. Look at that. Just make an arrow. Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, you said it perfectly, Aaron. I wouldn't have guessed in a million years. Okay. Well, we have 3 more minutes. Let's quickly bring the line to an end. So this is the big learning today. How do you write a Theban of copper? Now you know, and now I know.
You
That
set.
that before? Neither, right?
No.
Okay. Well, since we're on a roll. It doesn't look exactly like what we have, does it?
I feel like these are all a lot more obvious than what we.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. It does look more like
Yeah. Okay. It's just kind of missing the center circle.
right. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, once you know, you know. It makes sense.
Mhm.
I mean, we're thinking of it like at least I do, like a vertical with a circle in it, but it looks like you're thinking about it a little bit differently. It's like, I have no idea what that object is.
It's a stalk with ears. Oh, hi, Christopher.
A stalk with ears?
So I think I heard spindle once, like a spindle with.
Yeah, it's like a. Speaking of things you wind your cord on.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
another one of her options for when she was gathering her rope making materials. But
So that's what you used, presumably. Okay, all right. all the jars.
Who, and then the fire determinative.
Mm.
It's another stretch, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, here's our jar, and then this must be the whole thing. But again, it doesn't look like anything.
What?
If that long descender is part of it.
Need the glyph number on this again.
Oh,
Oh.
falling down on the job.
We have 60 seconds. Feels like Iron Chef or something. Will he be able to plate it in time?
There are a lot of tall,
Who's up?
skinny stairs.
Oh, we're at the hour mark.
Well, we can
Q7.
we can pick up here.
We
This
can
will
pick
be a
it up.
cliffhanger. You'll find out in the next episode in 2 weeks. All right, guys. Fun as always.
All right.
You
Thanks,
too.
everyone. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.